Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So I am back. It is day after Christmas, so hopefully you guys all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. But we still have a week to go before December is officially over. So today I want to talk about, of course, Bitcoin, what's going to happen with this next week in 2022, and also I want you guys to pay attention to something very important. And I may have discovered a hidden gem. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I almost forgot my intro since I've not been live streaming for a week now. You guys know I was in the Bahamas the day before I left. I met with a few fans. In fact, I met about 4 of you guys over there. It's quite surprising. I mean, it's humbling, right? And it's really cool. Wherever I go, I meet fans. It shows you that there are a lot of Georges out there worldwide. So makes me feel really special, and I'm glad to hear from a lot of you guys about how I've helped you along your crypto journey. So it's been pretty good experience so far. But let's get started. So looking at Bitcoin, $50,282. I mean, it's obviously not as high as our 51, but if you zoom out, you realize, yeah, it's doing pretty good compared to 48s and 46s right before. So Bitcoin is definitely a little bit higher. Holding about 50K seems to be a challenge. And I made note of this before. It seems like there's a lot of wars or a lot of battles going on at 50K between the bears and the bulls. But regardless, we know this is temporary, right? That's why I keep focusing on the fundamentals, telling you guys to focus on what's really important. Supply and demand, a liquid supply, reserves, right? And those are all in favor of the bulls right now. And I got a few more things to show you guys. And pretty big endorsements coming from one really well-known Wall Street guy. But just to give you guys a reminder, this is the top 10 cryptos from 2020 back in Christmas. So I'm a day off, but take a look at this. Bitcoin was right around 23,000, so it's more than double. Ethereum is now at 4,000 versus 600 before. And take a look at Solana, $1.45 this time last year, right? And it's above 200 right now. And then look at ADA. Some of you guys make fun of ADA. 15 cents before, now $1.40. And then you look at someone like Avalanche, Luna, I mean, even Doge, everything has gone up. So this puts things into perspective. Yes, that we had a tremendous year. Tremendous year. Too many people focus from, top to now, right? Not a whole lot of people focus from bottom to now. So a lot of people always focus on glass half empty. Focus on glass half full. Because we have made tremendous strides this year, and we're going to make more in 2022. So with that said, I also decided to look at whale alerts. This is a really good, by the way, this is a really good Twitter account to track, because you kind of see a lot of the things going on. And I was looking at this, and this kind of shows you what's going on right now. Massive amount of crypto being taken away from the exchanges. Take a look at this. 35 million flowing from Binance out. Here's 30 million going from Bittrex out. Here's 5 million worth of Matic coming out, right? There's a lot that's coming out. Interesting. What is actually happening, right? So we'll see. And here's also good. When you see USDT being transferred from a wallet to a exchange like KuCoin, right? Here's 20 million. Here's 54 million flowing to KuCoin. So looks like some whales are getting ready to do some buying. So that's always good when you see USDT or USDC or any kind of stablecoin flow into the exchanges. And it's good when you see it coming out as some kind of crypto because it's going into some kind of cold wallet being taken out of the exchanges. So interesting things going on. Now, what else is there? Well, here's an interesting chart about net realized profit and loss. And according to On-Chain College, who is also contributing to CryptosRUs.com these days, he's looking at this. Whenever there's exhaustion for profits and losses, and they tend to kind of converge, when that happens, guess what? There's usually a good rally right afterwards. And we're seeing that right now, right? There's a lot of comparisons of what happened when Bitcoin fell down to 30,000s and even a little bit in 40,000, because the 40,000 was very quick. But a lot of comparisons to what happened during 30,000 and what's happening right now. Obviously, we're almost double as high, so it's not the same kind of effect. It's not the same kind of fear, though some people make it seem like it is. But a lot of interesting metrics that does show that we are about to turn the corner, right? And I've been saying that for a little bit, but we did get a little bump for Christmas. Christmas rally gave us a little bump. Let's see if this last week will give us some more. Matt, welcome. Thank you for that. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. Mighty D is a new member. Welcome. All right, now what else is there? Well, Turkey, this is a big endorsement. Turkey, they're interested in a new economic model because their fiat is collapsing, okay? So not only are they introducing a new economic model, which is unknown what that really means right now, but what's really interesting is they are announcing a new cryptocurrency bill. It seems like their new economic model is going to be focused on crypto, especially payments, remittance, right? And this is huge. One after another. We're seeing a lot of countries that has economic instability, which is not a good thing for its citizens, obviously. But what they're doing is they're relying on crypto now. El Salvador obviously started it, but you see many other countries that's fully embracing crypto, passing laws to make it legal. And soon they're going to be doing like this, right? They may be just getting rid of their fiat altogether or coming out with some kind of digital fiat representation that's built on the blockchain and is crypto friendly, right? So this is pretty big announcement. So one after another, we're seeing countries really embracing crypto, and this is fantastic. This is kind of like what Satoshi envisioned all along, right? Distrust in governments and banks and federal banks, and it's going to lead to a collapse. That's why you need something that is more true, more transparent, controlled by no one, and that is crypto, right? So it's fulfilling that promise. That's what's going on right now. And then also a huge endorsement from Ray Dalio, which he has been on and off about Bitcoin, whether or not he believes in it, whether or not he thinks it's going to be shut down. He doesn't really say the shutdown narrative anymore. He was saying before, like, if Bitcoin and others got too big, it'll be shut down. But now he's saying, that's not really. He admits he owns Bitcoin and Ethereum, although he says very small amount. I don't know what that small amount is since he's worth $20 billion. So maybe $200 million seems like it's a small amount to him. But he does say he owns Bitcoin and Ethereum. And he goes on and says that it's pretty amazing that in the last 10, 11 years that Bitcoin's network has not been hacked, which you don't see in the tech industry. Almost everything has been hacked. So that's why Bitcoin network is deemed the most secure network out there. And adoption keeps growing. And he quotes himself saying cash is trash. He's the one that coined that. Cash is trash because he believes that the way the Federal Reserves and the U.S. Treasury and all the monetary policies and printing and everything that's being done right now is not good. It's not good. That's why he's always been a big gold advocate, but now he's starting to change the story, change the narrative. that maybe it's not just all gold that people should hold on to. Maybe it's Bitcoin, right? Or maybe at least some Bitcoin. So there you go. There you go. All right, so those are bullish things. You know, bullish things for Bitcoin. Obviously, a lot of good fundamental stuff, some interesting metrics. But what about the altcoins, right? So that's the main topic. Crypto holders, pay attention to this. So I always like to look at this. TVL, okay? It's a mystery to some of you guys, but TVL is just basically total liquidity locked in on AMMs, which basically is decentralized DEXs. Decentralized DEXs, unlike centralized exchanges, which require them to hold a ton of crypto, right? Think about it. If you're Coinbase, you're Binance, you have millions and millions of people coming on to buy, right? You got to hold on a ton of crypto. So that's how centralized exchanges work. But DEXs, they don't work like that. They rely on liquidity from the people. So they have these yield pools, which you can deposit. You can provide liquidity and earn interest by doing so. But basically, you're locking in the value. You're locking in whatever liquidity you're providing, right? And it goes both ways because you need two pairs. So it could be Ethereum and Terra, Binance and Solana. It could be a number of projects out there. But the more liquidity that's staked in, the less chance of it flowing around and being traded, right? It really like kind of locks in and makes some of these coins deflationary. And we have seen that with Ethereum, right? Obviously, if you look at this, Ethereum is the big dog, making up almost 62% of all liquidity locked. Every single AMM out there, besides the ones just on Ethereum, every single one that has some kind of bridge to Ethereum, right, has Ethereum locked in too. So that is why it is absolutely huge and way beyond everything else. But I wanted to look at the last, the top 7, because this is interesting. It's interesting. And a lot of these projects I talk about, right? For example, Terra, which has moved to number 2 recently. And you can see a lot of articles about total value locked, fresh high, right? So obviously someone like Terra, I've been talking about Terra for quite some time. And if you expand into, so what's great is if you expand into each chain, you'll see what has all the liquidity locked in, right? Like, for example, for Terra, it's Anchor, but they have Lido, which also got introduced on Solana recently. So you can see you now have liquid staking on Solana. And this contributed to Solana having their TVL bumped up quite a bit recently. You can see 20% in the last 7 days, and Solana's having a pretty good recovery too, above CMC's not working. So look at Solana's right back up to 200. It was down to like 160s, 170s before, right? So right back up to 200. So you could see that TVL or staking, providing liquidity, really has a big effect on a lot of these L1s. So obviously Terra has jump leaped a lot of these coins to number 2. You have Binance Smart Chain, which also has their own ecosystem, right? They have their own chain. Of course, they have their big exchanges. Solana I just talked about. I've been very bullish on Solana, but also some of these others like Avalanche, which has had an avalanche of things come aboard to the ecosystem, including DeFi projects, right? Games, and so forth. And then also Polygon. Polygon I've been talking a lot about, right? And you can see here's a chart of Polygon, just keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down, and just keeps forming a new high, it seems like. And they did today. Polygon is now up to 281. They had just broken through their previous high, and they are looking like they want to press right up against Avalanche and possibly move higher. So Polygon is another one I've been talking a lot about. But if you look at it, right, their TVL is still relatively small right here, about 5.62 billion. So still far off from these guys, which shows you that they do have a lot of potential, even though they have vast amounts of dApps and NFT marketplaces, especially NFT marketplaces. And they made some big headline news like being partnered up with Reddit and some of the others recently. but they still have a lot of room to grow, right? So I like all these L1s, but the one that really sticks out, the hidden gem, I believe, in this top 7 has to be Fantom. Because look at Fantom. It actually has a higher TVL than Polygon. And if you look at the market cap of Fantom is really, really low compared to these other guys, relatively speaking. So if you look at Fantom, they're around like 5 billion, something like that, 5 billion, 5.8 billion, right? So they're a mid cap. They're not a big cap, they're a mid cap, but you could see that them being at 5.8 billion versus, say, excuse me, Polygon at 20 billion. Well, there's a big gap, right? And this is something that I've been looking at a lot. And if you look at the right-hand side here, market cap to TVL ratio, you could look at, well, like Ethereum has like a 3x multiplier in terms of market cap versus TVL, right? You look at Terra, well, Terra looks pretty undervalued at 1.7 only versus like 3 of Ethereum. But some of these other ones are a little bit inflated. For example, Binance Smart Chain is at a 5 multiplier, which is even higher than Ethereum. Solana also a little bit inflated at 4.95, right? But then you could look at Avalanche was at 2.28, which is below Ethereum's. And then you look at even Polygon's 3.47 is a little inflated, a little bit above Ethereum. But you could look at Fantom, it's only at a 1x multiplier. So you could argue that they are the most undervalued right now in the top 7. And if you look at, I was looking at Fantom, looking at what they have going on. AnySwap recently rebranded themselves to multi-chain. And what's impressive about this is, if you look at AnySwap, or I should say multi-chain, they have a bridge to literally every single chain out there. So it makes it really easy for people to swap basically between chains. You could see, you could switch from Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, even Fusion, of course, Fantom, Polygon, Hiko, which is Huobi's own, Avalanche, XDAI, Arbitrum, and even Harmony, right? IOTX. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So they have a bridge to like literally every single chain, which is why the liquidity is so high. Now, in terms of their whole ecosystem, still growing, right? They got added to another exchange recently, but it does seem like Fantom is that hidden gem out of the top 7 that hasn't really caught up to the big players yet, right? But it could. It could. Why not? It's an EVM compatible chain, much like Polygon, right? Solidity compatible, and they have a very good, robust DEX. So it's definitely one to watch out for, right? Now, lastly, one that doesn't even show up, that doesn't show up in here, and I have to mention it because it's a project I've supported for a long time, and that is Kadena. Kadena is back up to $15. I talked about them when they were like $5 or $6, right? They had a tremendous run up to like 20-something dollars, came back all the way below $10. And I said during my Q&A, hey, below $10 Kadena seems like a pretty good pickup. And now it's back up to 15. And I was looking at why. The reason why is the reasons why I loved them all along, which is they're still very early. So everything I mentioned about TVL and all these DEXs and marketplaces and stuff doesn't exist on Kadena yet, but they're about to come. So a few announcements from CADX, which is a project, the biggest project right now, I would say, on Kadena, which is about to release their X wallet, which is a browser-based wallet, competitor to Fantom and MetaMask. It will be their own, and there's many big benefits to it. And they're also working on, of course, their DEX, which here's a good comparison versus Uniswap, SushiSwap, and others. 0 fees, security of a L1, decentralized, speed, multi-chain. There's going to be bridges into many others. So this is all coming. So I think this is the reason why people are very hopeful right now on Kadena, because with all this, it could really jumpstart them even further because they do have solid technology, solid group, solid backers. So looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, I don't know what's wrong with CMC. I keep going to CMC and it keeps breaking, so I have to go back to live coin watch. But all right, guys, let's do a quick Q&A. Uptime VeChain. I just talked about VeChain the other day. There is another Zumo swap that's coming out in VeChain. I've said the thing that VeChain really needs right now is more consumer-based apps. And they have VExchange, which wasn't really completed. Now it seems like it's somewhat completed, but there's not a whole lot of traction. But Zumo swap is coming. So what VeChain needs is more consumer-based apps. You know, B2B, they have that. They have that down, but they need more of things that lock in liquidity, possibly provide burns, possibly, you know, get more excitement, money locked in, right? So those are stuff that is still building on VeChain right now. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Luna, Theta, yes, I talked about Luna many times. I'm really surprised at Theta. Theta just seems to have no true momentum recently. Last 7 days up a little bit. That's good. But, you know, look at 30 days, 90 days, right? It's just they're not having any momentum right now. And that's because I think, you know, they should be in a perfect position right now. With play to earn games, with NFTs, they should be in a perfect position to be in that space, right? But it seems like you know, their NFT strategy, I don't know what their NFT strategy is. They're still the biggest decentralized streaming platform out there. But they're not, I don't really hear them talking about getting into play to earn games either, which is very hot, so I don't know. But you can see Fantom, right? I just noticed that they're up 60%, almost 58% this week, right? So you look at them, their TVL obviously indicates that they are very, very undervalued right now versus some of the other bigger players. Harmony also has been doing pretty well recently. Cosmos, I still think they're undervalued. I think there's a lot going on in the Cosmos ecosystem, so there you go. Tiberius says, moral of the crypto story is patience does pay. Yes, that's why I started with this, okay? 1 year in crypto, I know feels like a lifetime. Okay, because you look at your phone every single minute, and every single day, every single week seems like it's eternity. And you get locked into a mindset. But if you just take a step back and realize, well, what have we achieved in 2021? Well, just look at these prices and then compare them to now. There's nothing out there that gives you the same kind of returns as crypto. Nothing, right? So if you step back and realize, yes, basically, the moral of the game, moral of the story is be patient and hodl, right? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to time the top or time the bottom. You DCA and you have patience. This is the type of returns you'll see. Tiberius, it's 100% correct. Paul, thank you. Open DAO to OpenSea NFT collectors overseas. Is SOS airdrop safe to claim? I don't know. I've never heard SOS token airdrop. I did not know that OpenSea is OpenDAO has something to do with OpenSea. I didn't even hear about that. Paul, I'm not so sure. I did not hear anyone else asking about that, so I have to do some research and see. XRP was 31 cents a year ago, and it is now at 93 cents. So even if you held XRP for a year, you would have made about 300%. So that's not bad. That's not bad. But obviously, you look at Solana, you would be up 14,000%. You would be up 18,000% for Luna. and 15,000% for Matic, right? And I know some of you guys thinking, well, how do you know which one's going to go up like that, right? You don't know 100%, but you could see the momentum, right? That's why I talk about these coins so much. And here's the other thing. This is why I stress to be diversified. Because if you have a good diversified portfolio, any winners will carry your whole portfolio, right? And the losers, you don't have to worry about so much, or the non-movers, I should say, that they're not moving, because your portfolio will be carried anyways, right? And even other ones that haven't gone up so much, Binance Coin 1,500%, you can't complain about that. Ethereum up 533%, you can't complain about that. So a lot of these have gone up a lot. Let's just put it that way. Algorand's interesting. They have a ton of traction in Latin America, especially with El Salvador. People don't realize the Shivo app and their infrastructure is now built on Algorand, and they're also getting involved with NFTs. They have a few big sponsorships, like I think McLaren and several others. They're on Algorand, so they're getting there. They're getting there. They're kind of like they're a big cap. They're at 10 billion, and they're doing well. Let's just say it. They're doing well. Another one that's doing well is Near. And Near has been doing very well, actually. If you could see, even the last 90 days up about 100%. Near is actually really, really surprising. They're also based in the U.S. I know little of them. Very well funded, right? And they are doing very good things. I need to do more research on Near, but I don't see them on here. So either they're not listed on purpose, or their TVL is still very, very small. All right, last few questions and let you guys go. Charlie 3, I don't like any decentralized oracles outside of Chainlink, because everyone uses them. So it doesn't really matter if they're specifically for ADA ecosystem. ADA will integrate with Chainlink, that's for sure. So there you go. KRL, J Harris, not today. Zilliqa, I'm still supporting. I'm rooting them, but they just don't have the traction right now. What are your thoughts on Gala? Hey, I'm glad you asked, because I forgot about this. There is a really, really, really good article on CryptosRUs.com that's all about Gala, right? Gala is #1. So when it comes to games and play during games and platforms, NFTs, it's Gala. So make sure you check this article out on CryptosRUs.com. And lastly, I did want to remind you guys, it's closing in to the end of the year, and I have a huge 5 ETH giveaway that I will be giving out at the end of the year. So if you haven't participated, make sure you do so. It's your very last chance to do so, to win up to 5 ETH and 4,000 nulls too. All right, let's see. OVR, I haven't done that much research into them, but they are a augmented reality play, so it could be interesting. Parabax releasing staking. Okay, your thoughts on Illuvium? I like Illuvium. They have a lot of things going, and their graphics look amazing. So when their game comes out, if it's amazing as it looks right now with the photos, the pre what do you call it, the rendered graphics. Okay, if it looks as amazing as that and it's addictive as Axie, well, they're gonna go to the moon. They're gonna go to the moon. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys possibly tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.